Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, and of course, as John Campea once said, your existential Mr. Rogers. That's right, Robert Meyer Burnett, coming at you, you imagination connoisseurs, with another John Campea Show companion video brought to you the way only I can do. And you know what? Why wait? Why wait? Let's just jump right into it, shall we? Indeed. And this first question comes from Armando Martinez. Says, let's be honest. Logan is in the conversation for the best superhero movie of all time. You know what? I can't argue with that. The Johnny Cash music in the trailer alone was one of the best trailers I've ever seen. You know what? Johnny Cash makes everything better. If you remember Zack Snyder's original, well, not original, his remake of Dawn of the Dead uses When the Man Comes Around during the opening credit sequence. Dope. So good. So Armando, I think both John and I would agree. I think most people would agree that Logan is certainly one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. I mean, you know, the Fox X-Men movies are kind of all over the place, kind of. But there's some great ones. I mean, X-Men 1, X-Men 2, X-Men Days of Future Past, Logan, of course, Deadpool 2. A lot of good stuff in there, but yeah, I mean, definitely. And Logan, man, it's still dope. I mean, it's still great. So you're not wrong. Dada Axel sends in a tip and says, "Hi, it's your biggest fan," which could be a little scary if you think about Annie Wilkes in Misery. "Hi, it's your biggest fan. Can we just take a second to think about how Spider-Man No Way Home is the 8th highest grossing film ever, pulling in $1.5 billion. Could it have made $2 billion if it were released in China? There are still some markets left." You're right, Dada. By the way, great name, Dada Axel. No, it's incredible. Who would have thought? Of course, Kevin Feige, Marvel, and Disney thought, but it is amazing. The actual, you know, I gotta say, we all know, if you're in the theater, you go to that theater and you sit there with people love that. I loved it. I mean, it was a delightful time at the picture show. And it deserves, I think, every dollar it's made. After the last 2 years we've spent, wasn't it great to be in a theater full of people that cheered together, laughed together? It was great. Vault of the Future sends in a tip and says, "I just saw The Last Duel, and hated it. I hated the characters and acting, laugh out loud. I couldn't stand the terrible accents. My biggest pet peeve in film and television is when they use British accents for everything. It's why I couldn't even get into Chernobyl, to be honest. Hot take? Well, Vault of the Future, I think that, I don't necessarily know if it's a hot take, but perhaps that ease up a little bit. I mean, I understand. I always grew up thinking that people with British accents were the smartest people in the world. And when you tried to have a British accent, you were just trying to be smarter than you were. And I was all there for that. I can't do a very good... I've lived in New Zealand and Australia. I'm thinking, well, hello there. Let me just try this one more time. I saw The Last Duel and I hated it. I don't even know what kind of an accent I just did. You know what? Maybe you're right. You could be right about it. But I will say this. Chernobyl was fantastic. But I do understand. I understand what you're saying. I mean, I wonder, though, is it the accents or is it because you know the actors in question aren't from the area in which they're doing an accent from? Like when Ben Affleck was doing a Boston accent on Long Island in the Tender Bar, I'm like, oh no, he's dope. Perhaps, in France, maybe not so much. But I feel you. I do. I feel you. But I think just ease up a bit. Maybe you'll like things more. I don't know. Sergeant Ward sends in a tip and says, "Do you think major movies like the Batman and the MCU are going to get delayed to the Omicron variant going crazy? It's coming out in March, so it should be safe, right?" Well, Sergeant Ward, it depends where it all goes. I mean, if what happens with the Omicron variant happens here as it happened in South Africa, it will explode and then burn itself out quickly. And theoretically, if the many people who have been getting COVID have been vaccinated, so it's not as severe, they develop more immunity. So hopefully, it's crazy how many people are getting it, but I hope things aren't going to be delayed, but March isn't that far away. So I don't know what to say. Louis T. Media says, with all the Doctor Strange multiverse rumors and Scarlet Witch suspected to be the villain, I have a theory that she might say a variation of her famous line, "No more mutants," to "No more multiverse." Ooh, I like that. It combines the different multiverses into one MCU prime. Ooh, does that mean that multiple variants are going to show up? I don't know what you're saying there, Louis, but I'm there for it. That's a fascinating idea. I haven't heard that before. Good on you, sir. Let's hope that something like that happens, because I think that could be cool. Island Boy sends in a tip and says, John, wow, this weekend of football has been insane. I'm currently watching the Raiders-Chargers game. It's insane. God, I love sports. The beauty of it is you can't script it, even if you wanted to. Good luck to your Pats in the playoffs, bro. Look, I know John loves the Patriots, and he has an unhealthy obsession with Tom Brady. I get it. But as a Seahawks fan, it wasn't a good year for me. But I appreciate you love your sports. It was a crazy, by the way, that Chargers-Raiders game was nuts. And Philadelphia, can you imagine being in Philly during that game? Oh my God, amazing. But I'm glad you dug it. Thanks for supporting the channel. Adam S. says, hello, John and crew. I just finished Arcane and I loved it. I can't wait for season 2. I know, right? After the show, the first thing that came to my mind was that I would rather have a spin-off series for this Echo instead of the one from Hawkeye. Well, you know what? You're not wrong, I don't think. I mean, I thought Arcane was fantastic. It's really, really good. And I understand what you're saying. I mean, look, I think Echo can be cool. Remember, Echo is a great character in the Daredevil comics, so I'm hoping it'll be good. I think it'll be good. But I feel you totally. Arcane was dope. I can't wait to see the next season. B. Wayne NY sends in a tip and says, John Campea and crew. So I just watched the finale of Mayor of Kingstown. In 2 words, holy shit. Clearly, Jeremy Renner won't be getting an Emmy nom for his Hawkeye, but this series might just do it for him. Tyler Sheridan is just killing it, and this could be his year. You know what? Mayor of Kingstown is the next thing I want to watch, right up my alley. I haven't watched it yet, but man, I have only heard the great things about it. So B. Wayne NY, you're not wrong. Can't wait to watch it myself. Shakespeare Adapter sends in a tip, 1 of 2. Well, thank you, Shakespeare Adapter. That's very nice of you. In regards to the topic of getting comfortable with Shakespeare, I would recommend starting with Shakespeare's comedies rather than the tragedies. I think the language of comedies is more accessible. By the way, that is great advice. Shakespeare Adapter goes on to say, there are a couple of film adaptations of Much Ado About Nothing, which I think a Shakespeare novice might find easier to follow. One is Kenneth Branagh's 1993 adaptation with an all-star cast. Shakespeare Adapter, that is very, very good advice. You know, it's interesting. I love the fact that Shakespeare has become a thing on the channel. I agree. I think the comedies are, I didn't think about that because I'm always, well, let me show everyone how erudite I am and talk about Henry V or Titus Andronicus, but you're absolutely right. Shakespeare's comedies are really funny. That's a really great piece of advice. Listen to Shakespeare Adapter. Heed him. Oh, he goes on. 1 of 2, 2 of 2, then he's 3 of 3. He comes back in and says, there is also a Joss Whedon adaptation from 2012 with Clark Gregg, which I own, of Much Ado About Nothing, which he shot at his own house. I also agree with the recommendation by another viewer about getting a book with side-by-side comparisons of the traditional language with a modern interpretation. All of that is great advice. Coming from Shakespeare Adapter, cannot stress enough that you, my friend, are a smart man. B.W. Rosas sends in a tip and says, hey, John and crew, can you believe it'll be 25 years since 1997's Titanic was released? Oh my God, I'm going to die soon. I'm so old. Do you think It will get a re-release in IMAX and in regular cinemas. Also, did you like it when you first saw it? Also, have you checked ABC's Women of the Movement? Thanks. Well, BW, I love Titanic. I think I saw it like 5 times. I loved it. The filmmaking was incredible. Very classic love story. I love Kate Winslet. You got to see her boobs. I love Titanic. I thought it was beautiful filmmaking. I love Kathy Bates as the unsinkable Molly Brown. And Kate Winslet's husband saying, I know you're melancholy. I don't presume to know why. I loved it. I love Titanic. But, you know, it's interesting. It's kind of, when you go back and rewatch Titanic, sometimes I can only watch the first half because I don't want to watch everybody die. Or sometimes I'm in a bad mood and I'll just watch the second half so I can watch everybody die. But I think it's a great film, and I think I'd love to go back and see it in a theater again. And, you know, it's one of those movies where people, you know, if you're say you were like 7 or 8 or 9 when it came out, you know, you'd be in your early 30s. You might not have seen it in a theater. So I think it's a great idea. I hope they do re-release it. Now I'm going to look for that. I think it's a great idea. I want to go see it in a theater now, all because of you. Koa1708 sends in a tip and says, I don't know if you've seen the Apple TV Plus show Mythic Quest, but I highly recommend it. If anything, I call it a modern cousin of The Office. It's right up your alley as it follows a game studio that's running an MMORPG. Massive multiplayer online role-playing game. You know what? I've heard about it, haven't seen it, but I'd love to check it out. I think that could be pretty good. Jonathan sends in a tip and says, this one hits close to home. Full House was a part of my childhood, and therefore so was the late, great Bob Saget. I never watched Fuller House, but Full House I'll always have fond memories of. This is painful, man. First Betty, now Bob, and Sidney Poitier. R.I.P. Mr. Saget. You know what, Jonathan? I'm with you there. I mean, I was not a Full House guy, a little too old for that, but I loved Bob Saget. He had a great presence about him, and I will say this. You know what? Apparently he died in his sleep after performing live, doing what he loved to do. And the fact that he touched so many lives, again, I always say this, John always quotes me, but it was a life well lived. So I think, hey, you know, I think he did all right. I think he did okay. But he left us a great body of work, and I'm sad that we will mourn him, but he lived a good life. Tyler Hoffman sends in a tip and says, hey, John and crew, week 18 of the NFL was crazy. As a Colts fan, I'm at a loss for words and was sad most of Sunday. Well, I'm sorry. But that Chargers-Raiders game was the definition of big surprises. Was really hoping for a tie. Wishing your Patriots the best of luck. I never wish the Patriots the best of anything, but I understand why you do. But yeah, that was one for the ages. Twilight Boy says, hi, John and company. Hans Zimmer's score for Dune is pumping through my speakers when I'm driving. What do you think are his chances of being nominated or winning the Oscar for Best Score? With 10 nominations and only 1 win for The Lion King, he deserves it. I loved his score for Dune. And talk about pounding, you were right, man. It pounds through the speakers, pumps through the speakers when you're driving. It's great. I don't think I've wanted or played. I have the score. I don't have it in my car, but I've been playing it on Spotify. I've been listening to it. Man, it's good. I'd love to see him win. I think you're right. Ryan Lohner says, with Sidney Poitier's passing, I'll go ahead and recommend the extremely underrated film Sneakers. A whole bunch of super A-list talent just having fun making a goofy heist movie. Ryan, I got to say, I mean, that was directed by Phil Alden Robinson, coming off of Field of Dreams. I love Sneakers. I think it's great, and you're right. What a cast. Amazing. I dig it, and it is if you guys haven't seen Sneakers, the technology is dated, yes. But as Ryan says, what a cast. So much fun. He's right. You should all watch it if you haven't seen it. Max sends in a tip, 1 of 2. Honestly, I'd rather see a Daredevil movie instead of a Disney Plus show. I generally like the shows, but we already got the amazing Netflix show. I also think that considering the Disney Plus show's track record and how they did Kingpin, a movie would probably be better, and we hopefully won't have Walmart versions anymore. Also, I also want to see Daredevil and Kingpin as big screen characters, not primarily Disney Plus characters. Max, dude, I'm kind of right there with you. Daredevil, to me, is a cornerstone Marvel character. I mean, Spider-Man's obviously more popular because he sits in your childhood fond memories. But I think that, Spider-Man, if Spider-Man is the Marvel gateway drug, you graduate to Daredevil. And I agree. I would love to see a Daredevil movie. I don't know if we're going to get it, but I certainly would love to see it. I'm with you 100%. Orange Grove 55 sends in a tip and says, I recently had COVID. Luckily recovered in a few days, mild case, but wanted to thank you and Harloff for getting me through those 3 days. Binge your guys' content the entire time while recovering. Keep up the great work. Well, Orange Grove, I'm glad you're better. I have a street, Orange Grove, right up where I live from, right up the street. I'm glad you've recovered, and I'm glad that we were, or they were, able to comfort you in your time of need. I love hearing that. Chuck, the mystery, sends in a tip and says, hey, John, I didn't take much notice of Ty Sheridan after Ready Player One, but after seeing him in the card counter, I'm really starting to appreciate this actor. What are your thoughts on him seeing Scream on Thursday after these reviews? I'm excited. I like Ty Sheridan. I just watched The Tender Bar, which I thought he was good in. Didn't like the movie so much, but I'm a fan. I loved The Card Counter. Paul Schrader, coming off of, he wrote Taxi Driver, directed American Gigolo, in a movie called Hardcore, which you should see. Oh my God, that's my daughter. Wait till you see it. But I thought The Card Counter was really good. Oscar Isaac was great. Tiffany Haddish was great. Really good movie. I'm glad you dug it, Chuck. Chuck the Mystery. Chuck the Mystery goes on to say, one of two, John, the discussion you guys were having about physical media going away, I know, and the future of digital purchases as well, it makes me revisit an old discussion that you and Rob, me, had about streaming services each having their own device to play their content on. Ooh, I remember that. With things going the way they are, does this happen sooner rather than later? Over under 40% that by 2024 you can only watch Disney Plus or other services on something like what you once called the Disney Magic Dongle. I remember that. Thanks. I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. I think that now that I've got an Amazon Fire Stick, and then you download the company apps, so they don't need to send necessarily their devices, but if you want to watch Disney Plus, you download the Disney Plus app and watch it through their app. So I don't think we need devices anymore, but the exclusive apps are necessary because that's how they charge you and chart your viewing habits. But I don't think we'll ever need the Disney Magic Dongle. I hope we don't, because that would suck. Anonymous sends in a tip and says, is it possible that Sony delaying Morbius played a role in Disney sending Turning Red to Disney Plus? I don't think so. I was reading an article. There was an article in Variety. I think I was reading it today about Pixar, and the reason that, at least in this article, it basically said that Pixar is such a draw that there actually is a demonstrable bump when they put Pixar movies exclusively on Disney Plus. They do get a lot of subscribers. But again, I would think that the people that want Disney Plus, that know that Pixar movies are going to be on there, are already subscribers. So, I don't really know. I mean, it's a bummer, man. 3 Pixar movies in a row, but I think they're doing it because it's really driving subscriptions. Or at least, I don't know when they say, to be honest, I haven't read if Seeing Red is going on there, they're just dumping it on there, or is it an exclusive thing that you have to pay, like, that $30 premium or something. I'm not sure. But it's a bummer. Ultimately, I think it's a bummer, but apparently they know what they're doing. Jonathan sends in a tip and says, after I walked out of Macbeth, I really did feel ashamed. Like I said before, nothing was wrong except the Shakespearean language. I felt dumb for not understanding. The movie looks so beautiful and acted really well. I feel bad for walking out. Jonathan, don't feel bad. I can understand. What if I walked into a foreign film and was watching something in, I don't know, Arabic, and I didn't speak Arabic and there were no subtitles, it would be frustrating. And I can understand that when they're speaking a version of English that you don't understand, it's even more frustrating. But I would say this, don't feel bad. Look upon it as an opportunity to delve into some Shakespeare. Like earlier, one of our viewers suggested there are books that have side-by-side translations of not modern English next to Shakespearean English. Maybe get Macbeth and read it so you know what's going on and you get the story, you understand what people are saying, and then go back and see it or watch it. I see it as a teaching moment. Ryan White sends in a tip and says, in regards best movie versus favorite. Oh man, by the way, I'm loving this debate. John, by the way, is wrong. Can I take it? He's not here, right? He doesn't see me. He's wrong. Best and favorite is not the same thing. I'm saying right now. Ryan White, regarding best movie versus favorite, this is my take. We all have movies we like, but we know are garbage. I am right there with you. For example, I love 1995 and 1997's Mortal Kombat and the 90s Power Rangers movies. I grew up on them. I know they're awful, but I love them anyway. See, you're right. Ryan, you and I park our shuttlecrafts in the same shuttle bay. I agree with you 100%. John is wrong, and since he's not here and I'm doing this video, this is my companion video, I can say, John, I love you. You're wrong. Best and favorite is not the same thing. By the way, movies are not all subjective. Only people's opinions of them are. See? He's not here, so I can say that. Drew L. Ray sends in a tip and says, hey guys, I took a chance and I saw the 355 last night, and big surprise, I liked it. I see why people are not liking it, but I found it fun and interesting despite its flaws. The writing was weak and it's a tad too long, but the acting was great and the action was fun. Drew L. Ray, that's all you can ask from a film. Not everything has to be Gone with the Wind or Lawrence of Arabia. I can understand. If you liked it, money well spent, time well spent. If it put a smile on your face, hey, that's all you can ask for, right? Garden Variety Vagabond tipped $7. Said, John, I'm so in agreement with Rob. Wait, let me read that again. John, I am so in agreement with Rob on the echo question. Hang on. Wait, one more time. Garden Variety Vagabond says, John, I am so in agreement with Rob on the echo question. The point he made on the terrible image it would be if they reneged on a disabled woman of color hit me as true. And when he said about Kristen Ritter, the future Mrs. Vagabond, as Jessica Jones, Garden Variety Vagabond, you and I, my friend, we park our shuttlecrafts in the same shuttle bay, and anytime you can just say that you agree with me, that's what I think is a great super chat and tip. Thank you, appreciate it. Steve, one of three, says, John and friends, Vincent D'Onofrio has come out on Twitter multiple times in the past for weeks saying that he, the producers, writers, and Feige made Hawkeye with the intent of the Netflix shows being canon and him being the same exact Kingpin. Quote from D'Onofrio, there's no difference. I keep saying it's the same Fisk as Daredevil. It's the same canon, and people seem to be confused by that. Steve finishes up by saying, when questioned about the character's strength in Hawkeye, D'Onofrio clarified that the character in Daredevil already had a strength above normal, citing the scene in which Fisk fights with Matt at the end of the first season of the series. Your thoughts? Look, again, John's not here, so it is the same character. And however it's going to work, I mean, the fact that Matt Murdock is is the same character. And like I was saying, we've been seeing the MCU, it has not been at street level. It's been up in the air. It's been, Omega level or whatever level you want to call it. And that street level, Hell's Kitchen, New York City, it's stuff the Avengers would never bother with because until it becomes more of a global threat, they wouldn't be involved. So, of course, I think that it's absolutely the same Wilson Fisk. I think it's the same as Daredevil. Absolutely 100%. GM says, I know you're not a college football guy, but I'm a huge UGA fan. And they're playing for the Natty tonight. That would be University of Georgia. Also grew up a huge Spiderman fan, born in 93, so grew up with all three. My thought of seeing No Way Home with my team win one, the thought of seeing No Way Home and my team winning 1 month apart has 10-year-old me giddy AF. Well, Jim, that's a good year, and it's only January. So I'm happy for you. I hope things went out with a bang, and what's going to happen the next 11 months of the year? So good for you, sir. And I am glad the 10-year-old you is giddy AF. I pretty much am the 10-year-old me all day long, and I'm also giddy AF, so I feel you. Captain Rex, good Hot Toys figure, by the way, sends in a tip and says, regarding park fans hating Chapek, some context. I'm active in the Disney parks community, and they dislike most change. Chapek is an agent of change, so that explains the hate. That's pretty interesting. Most are even against Marvel in the parks because it isn't an original Disney IP. In my past, I've worked for Disney, working on DVD special editions. I worked on some of a lot of the early DVD stuff, and I was able to delve into Disney history and Disney. I even took a college course at USC when I was in film school about the history of Disney, and I'm right there with you. Disney is a brand unto itself, and the park really was a combination of both Disney IP and Americana, and all of these other IPs that they've acquired, whether it's Star Wars, Star Tours was in the 80s, obviously. It did seem, I remember going to Disneyland and thinking, as much as I love Star Tours, which, by the way, replaced Voyage Through Inner Space, which I loved with the Paul Frees narration, it did seem odd because, Walt Disney himself died in 1966. And it's almost like, I understand that was a long time ago, and we have to add those new things into the park and incorporate new IPs. But I can understand Disney purists because those things weren't a part of Walt's creation of the company all the way back to the 20s. Steamboat Willie. Isn't that what that is? Is that bad? Did we just get demonetized because of someone's going to strike this video for copyright? Who knows? But anyway, I'm with you. I can understand that, but you got to move on. You can't. Progress is going to happen. Quinn Fowley sends in a tip, 1 of 3. Regarding the Turning Red situation, if you consider how Onward was barely in theaters at all before going to Disney Plus, this will technically be Pixar's 4th film to go there exclusively. And at this point, if Disney pulls this crap with Lightyear, there will officially be nothing to convince me that Disney isn't secretly conspiring to turn Pixar into a direct-to-video company, as mentioned or theorized, or kill it off entirely, as they did with Blue Sky Studios, albeit much more slowly, for the sake of good PR. Quinn, I think, look, the people at Pixar has been way too much money. They're so creative up there. It's one of the great, most consistently terrific powerhouses in all of cinema history. I don't think Disney is killing it off. I think that Disney's core brand is family entertainment, and Pixar is the very best family animation entertainment ever. And I think that the reason they're bringing it to Disney Plus is because it's their core brand. It consistently is their core brand. So that's why I don't think it's a conspiracy. I don't think they want to kill it off, but I think they're just going to piss people off at one point and be like, bruh, put our movies out. Let's make some hundreds of millions of dollars with our work, yo. But I understand it's tough. Garden Variety Vagabond comes on and says, John, on the quality remake note, Lady Gaga's 2018 A Star is Born is a remake of the Streisand 76 pick. Oh, wait, no, wait. It's a remake of 54's Judy Garland flick. Oh, no, wait. Janet Gaynor and Frederick March in 1937. And it didn't have a soundtrack until Garland. You were right. Good things keep getting recreated for generation after generation. Look into this, kids. How many versions of Invasion of the Body Snatchers have there been? There was the 50s version. There was the 70s version. There was the Meg Tilly version. There was the Nicole Kidman, Daniel Craig version. I mean, they want to make another one. Great ideas. They never go away. They just keep getting remade. War Doctor 10 says, went to see The King's Man the other day, and oh my God, that movie was fantastic. Ralph Fiennes was spectacular, and P.S., if you haven't played it yet, I highly recommend Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, War Doctor, I haven't seen Kingsman. I like the King's Man. I love the franchise, but Sophie, my girlfriend's daughter, she's absconded with my Guardians of the Galaxy PlayStation 5 disc, and I have not seen it since. By the way, we are 2 PlayStation 5 household here. Amazing. I know, on either side of the house. I want to play my Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut disc. Have I played it? No. Am I going to play it? Who knows? So annoying. Kids today. Stealing your discs. No one touches my disc. My Final Fantasy VII Remake disc. No one's touching that. Max sends in a tip and says, do you think the MCU will bring John Bernthal back as the Punisher? I really love the Netflix show and his portrayal, along with Cox and D'Onofrio. I feel his Punisher and his show is one of the best things from the Netflix shows. Well, John pointed out on the show the other day that with the iconography, the Punisher iconography that's been appropriated by various domestic groups, let's just call them groups, domestic groups, I can see why they might not want to do that, but I could see them bringing back that character with different iconography and have him still be the Punisher. Although I don't know where. I'd love to see Bob Chapek defending the Punisher as part of Disney's brand, but who knows? I'm a really good lawyer, sends in a tip and says, hey, John and crew, longtime listener of the show since the AMC days. I finally got a chance to watch Spider-Man No Way Home and absolutely loved it. It also got me wondering if we could see a possible team-up between Spider-Man and Daredevil. Thoughts? Well, let me tell you. I love when Spider-Man and Daredevil teamed up in the comics, which they did frequently. They're down on the street level heroes, really, even though Spider-Man swings all over the city. So does Daredevil. They're still street level heroes. Moon Knight is kind of too, really. So I think there's a possibility. I would love to see Daredevil. I mean, you could. We saw the inklings of. Can you imagine Peter Parker and Matt Murdock teaming up together? I would love that. Love it so much. Jonathan sends in a tip and says, apologies for my ignorance, but I never really understood why Solo was afraid of Jabba. All he is a fat, gross, slow-moving slug. What makes him so feared? If a Star Wars superfan can just explain that to me, that'd be great. Well, I would say this. It's not Jabba himself necessarily that's so fearsome. It's all the people that work for him. So if you cross him, like you dump spice at the first sign of an Imperial patrol, and that costs Jabba money, then Vader hired Boba Fett, but Jabba would sick Boba Fett onto Solo, or not just Boba Fett, but a lot of other people. Put a bounty out on his life. So it's not Jabba the Hutt himself necessarily, because you can easily run away from him. It's his influence. It's his sphere of influence. That's what's scary, I think. Because he'll send other people out to get you. Anonymous Meatball sends in a tip and says, John and Rob, yesterday's episode brought me to send this. I work on sets mostly in the indie space. A G&E friend just lit a Bruce Willis action movie. G&E stands for Grip and Electric. Those are people that light the sets for the cinematographer. A G&E friend just lit a Bruce Willis action movie. He told me that it was a sad experience because he learned Bruce has dementia and mentally checks out halfway into each day. Oh, is that true? That's really sad. What a bummer. Now you've made me sad, Anonymous Meatball. Well, that would clarify things, certainly. Korea Got Soul sends in a tip and says, hey, John, what's up, Rob? Hello, Kim. And good day to you, Ray. So one of my most anticipated movies of the year is Samaritan. I'm really looking forward to that brick shithouse action. John, can you tell us anything about it so far? All I know about Samaritan is it's the Sylvester Stallone superhero film. I saw a trailer for it, and it sounded really interesting. I don't know why it's been delayed for so long, but I really want to see it. It sounds really interesting. So that's all I know. But I don't know when it's coming out, but look, man, count me in. A Sylvester Stallone superhero movie? Hell yeah. God hates astronauts. Why? Hey, John. What's up, Rob? Hello, Kim, and good day to you, Ray. So word on the street is Sony wants Anya Taylor-Joy to play in a Spider-Man movie, and they want her as Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat. Personally, I love this news. What are your thoughts? Okay. I mean, I'm too old, so I can't, profess my undying love for Anya Taylor-Joy because that would be weird and creepy. But I will say that I really like her as an actress. She's fantastic. I love The Queen's Gambit. I thought she was so good. If she played the Black Cat, she has like a cat-like face. Her eyes, her face, kind of feline. She's sexy, but she's otherworldly as well. I think she'd be a great Black Cat. Bring it on, God's hate. God, why does God hate astronauts? I don't understand. Justice for Domi Shi. Who's Domi Shi? Am I saying that right? Sends in a tip and says, if Lightyear does go to theaters and makes money, could it mean the only new Pixar theatrical releases will be more sequels or spin-offs? Would Disney be willing to release an original Pixar films in theaters ever again, or could it be too late? I think eventually, it's got to be demoralizing. I will say this, as a filmmaker myself, if you make movies that don't go to theaters, because we all grew up with movies going to theaters. You want movies to go to theaters. When they don't go, it's like, man, that sucks. You want movies to go to theaters. You just do. And I think Pixar is eventually they're gonna get pissed. They're gonna get pissed. But I mean, what can they do? Too smooth, spends in a tip and says, John, Kim, Rob, and my boy Ray. Sucker Punch Studios that made Infamous and Ghosts of Tsushima. You know what? I loved Infamous. I have Infamous right over there. That was the first. Infamous was one of the first PlayStation 3 games that I ever played. Are trying to get the rights to chronicle the movie and characters. Oh, wow, that's interesting. I love this movie, to be honest. Top 5 for me. And the story is Chef's Kiss, a video game based in this world done by SP. Your thoughts? Well, bruh, Ghosts of Tsushima and Infamous are favorites of mine. I would love that. And if they're going to do Chronicle, what an interesting... I don't know how much more the game they could... there's a lot of possibilities there, but I don't know. I would play it if it's like Ghosts of Tsushima. I'd do it because I love that game. I'm in. Ryan Lohner, 1 of 2. My most hated movie cliche. Someone makes an overly big deal about how something is super secret, and then they're actually surprised when this only increases people's interest in it rather than convincing them to drop the whole thing. That's pretty funny. I'm right there with you. As The Simpsons put it, what is your fascination with my forbidden closet of mystery? Well, you're not wrong. I don't like that either. It's like, listen, I'm sorry, I can't tell you what's going on. What do you mean? What do you mean you can't tell me what's going on? When somebody says that, of course you want to know. I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. That's a good one, Ryan. Good one. Matt Fitch says, hey, John and company. John, don't trust your opinion on TV as much that you're not into Cobra Kai. Kidding, but not really. All joking aside, have you checked out Midnight Mass yet? I have. I know you said it was in your radar a while back. Dude, it's so good. Dude, Flanagan's, he's pretty great. I love Dr. Sleep. I love what is Haunting of Hill House. I loved Midnight Mass. He's a great horror filmmaker. And I am with you, Matt. I don't think you're wrong there, buddy. You are actually, I know you're not wrong. Because if I like it, then it must be great, right? Anonymous sends in a tip and says, hi all, some cool new features on the Ghostbusters set. Rare 114-minute preview cut of the first movie, TV cuts of the first 2 movies, 8 auditions for the Dana Barrett role with Denise Crosby and Kelly LeBrock, and wow, really? And 19 new deleted scenes from Ghostbusters 2. Wow, that's cool. Not anonymous, I am Mumra goes on and says, been waiting to finally see scenes of Eugene Levy's character that were cut from part 2. He played Rick Moranis, Louis Tully's cousin, who helps the Ghostbusters escape the hospital. Extras like this are why I still love Blu-rays. Yes, free. Why am I saying free? It's not free. It's expensive. But I'm glad. Am I hyped? Yes, I am hyped. I pre-ordered that set in the Ghost Trap. How cool is that? But that's exactly why Free Enterprise is great. Why did I say Free Enterprise? My own movie. I mean, that is why physical media is great. See, I'm such an egomaniac that even when I'm doing live companion videos, I'm thinking about my own movie. I don't know why. You know why? Because it's not on. You can't get my own movie on physical media. That's what I was thinking. What an egomaniacal douchebag I am. I apologize for that. But not anonymous, I am Mumra is right. I'm still a big proponent of physical media, and so should you be. I understand why. People are like, putting discs into a machine is so 20th century. I know, and I'm there for it. Look, here's the Criterion, The Incredible Shrinking Man, and the new Scream Factory version of The Vampire Lovers, which, if you have not seen the Karnstein Vampire Trilogy, which is The Vampire Lovers, Lust for a Vampire, and Twins of Evil, which is, late 60s, early 70s vampire goodness, nudity and blood, but in a very classical setting. It's good stuff. I don't know what this has to do with not anonymous I am Mumra's comments, but physical media rules. Amin, one of two, says, hey, John and crew, so there are a lot of great shows either premiering or returning this year. Out of the following list, could you guys let us know which are the top 3 you're most looking forward to? I know I'm probably missing some of the big ones. Wow. But anyways, here we go. Amin says, Last of Us. I hope it's great. Mando 3. Hope that's great. Lord of the Rings. The Boys 3, Stranger Things 4, Umbrella Academy 3, Foundation 2, hopefully, Obi-Wan, Andor, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, Secret Invasion. Thanks, and bring on the filthy. Well, I have to say, that is a fine list, and it would be, I want to say my first inclination is to say, come on, bruh, all of them. Like, don't you want to see all of them? I know I want to see all of them. Like, wouldn't anybody want to see all of them? I want to see all of them. But come on, you know me. Moon Knight's got to be number 1, only because I've wanted to see it for so long. But you know what? It's tough. I worked on the Lord of the Rings special features, so Lord of the Rings is a lifelong love of mine. I can't wait to see. I love Umbrella Academy, and I love The Boys. Obi-Wan is probably my most eagerly awaited Star Wars series. Andor, I love Rogue One, so hopefully that's good. I like Foundation. She-Hulk I'm interested in because it breaks the fourth wall. Look, I'll just say this. Amin, have these are all shows that I will watch first run. These are shows that I will watch as soon as they drop. So it's a good list. But Moon Knight is at the top of that for me. So yeah, I'm in. Count me in. Maria Espino sends in a tip and says, in regards to Pixar movies, don't you think that the audience that these movies are made for, children, have a lot to do with why they're benched? Kids have no vaccines available to them, unlike adults do. As Omicron rises, this can be the reason. Maria, that's not a bad assessment. I don't think that you are wrong. Yeah, I think part of that is correct, but I also think that they're also the things that drive the most viewers to Disney Plus. But you're right. Children aren't vaccinated, and the Omicron variant is very, very contagious. So many breakthrough infections. Because remember, the vaccine, unlike other vaccines that prevent you from getting this disease, this vaccine is not that. It can't stop you from getting COVID. What it does is it gives your body armor to fight COVID. So it's a lot less death, which is great. But, for kids, that's not the case. And I think that's part of it. But I also think that, I think you're right. Why risk the kids? But ultimately, because of the very reasons that you cite, family audiences are not flocking to theaters as much. And family animation, things like that, aren't making the kind of money that they would normally make. So I think you're absolutely right about that. Leo Millman sends in a tip and says, I want to give a belated welcome back to the... Let me start this again. Touched. Leo Millman says, I want to give a belated welcome back to the man, the myth, the legend, the vicar of verisimilitude, Robert M. Burnett. Verisimilitude makes the world of cinema spin. Thank you for enlightening us all. And thank you, John and crew, for hours of great entertainment. Leo, you just made me feel like I felt when Andrew Garfield stepped through that portal in Spider-Man No Way Home. Thank you, sir. Bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. I do. Thank you. Jonathan sends in a tip and says, I was never interested in driving to a theater to watch Turning Red, so I didn't care it was sent to Disney+. But Lightyear? JPEG? Don't you effing dare leave it in theaters. Jonathan, I think you and I park our shuttlecrafts in the same shuttle bay, and you express a sentiment that many people on this channel believe as well. Look, man, I understand. Jonathan goes on to say, Bob Iger, let's make Disney the greatest company it could possibly be. Let's celebrate the creatives and keep a positive attitude. Boob Chapek, ha! Let's see how many people I can piss off, starting with ScarJo. Oh, and Pixar too. Yeah, you're right. I'm telling you, man. That dude, I don't know. Not making a lot of friends, that Bob Chapek. But, you know, look, I understand a business decision, a lot going on there. But if I was Pixar, I'd be Pixar pissed. What's another word for being pissed with an X in it? I don't know, but I'm sure someone will find out. Matt Weber sends in a tip and says, hi, John. Will Disney be willing to risk the PR hit they might take if they took a show, Echo, that was supposed to be led by a disabled woman of color and turned it into one led by a white guy? It shouldn't matter, but in 2022, it does. Matt, I brought that up on the show. I think the Echo show is going to be an Echo show. Echo is a character that interacts with Daredevil. I think that it's going to be an interesting show. I like that character in the comics, and you know, Marvel is good about that, and I think that definitely that we will. I think we're going to get a good show out of it. Like we said on the show the other day, I really do think that it's going to be chock-a-block full of Daredevil characters. So, could be cool. Could be cool. This comes from Mighty JT. Sends in a tip, 1 of 2. Hey, John, super small spoiler for No Way Home, but I have something to say about one of your takes. You say Peter is selfish to try and save the villains, but I see it as nearly the same exact choice Luke makes when choosing to save Vader in Return of the Jedi. Luke didn't ask the rest of the galaxy if they were okay with him trying to save Vader over just trying to kill him, even though he was the best chance of making that happen. It's the same choice, in my opinion. Thoughts? Well, Mighty JT, that's really interesting. I mean, you know, I think you might be right. And in a way, I think it's interesting because Peter just sees them. He doesn't know these people. And he sees them as people. He's like, he doesn't know what nefarious deeds they've pulled off or what pain and suffering they may have caused. And I think he's looking at one human being to another and thinking, you know what? I just want to help these guys. In Luke's case, he knew what Vader had done. But I think you're right. It's coming from the same place. And I would say, I don't disagree with you. I think you're right about that. It's from the same genre of help. Magic K says, probably someone already asked this. The Hollywood Reporter announced on Friday that Ed Brubaker will be the main writer for the new Batman animation series Batman Cape Crusader, which J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves produce. What's your take on this? Well, first of all, I am a huge, huge Ed Brubaker guy. As a matter of fact, I can prove I'm a huge Ed Brubaker guy. I loved his run in Captain America, but right behind me, these are hardcovers, deluxe hardcovers of his series Criminal. I'm a huge Ed Brubaker fan. He's awesome. So I think it's great. I mean, if he's going to be writing a Batman series, he's the main writer, it's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. That's going to be something you're going to want to plug in and love because it's going to be good. Dr. Nova says, "Hi, John. I've just started a YouTube channel. Congratulations. With my friend who's an actor. We're talking about movies, and it's fun. Everyone else wants to be an actor, but I'm happy doing my YouTube channel. I'll let you know when it's good." You mean it's not good yet? Listen, man, if you start your own YouTube channel, congratulations, first of all. It takes a lot of work, but it's very rewarding. I mean, heck, you're here watching me, aren't you? No, I think being on YouTube's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but you can build a great community and meet a lot of like-minded people. It's pretty great. I feel very fortunate to be working in the YouTube space. So congratulations for creating something, man. It's always good when you can just create something, control your own destiny, you and your friend. All the best of luck. Keep us informed. Bob Paycheck sends in a tip and says, "Just popping in to announce the next Disney Plus MCU series, Marvel's See No Evil, Hear No Evil, starring Daredevil and Echo." Oh, Bob. That's actually pretty funny. The new Marvel series, See No Evil, Hear No Evil, starring Daredevil and Echo. It's a sitcom about two zany friends that live together that can't see one another and have to figure out a way to live together, or something like that. They can't see or hear one another. That's what I meant to say. Well, I killed my own joke. Sorry about that. But, Bob, that's a funny one. That's funny. Jonathan sends in a tip and says, "Call me old. I'm 25, by the way." Oh, my God. To be 25 again, Jonathan. But I consider Jackass to be juvenile, moronic, and a bad influence on kids, teaching them that it's okay to pull dangerous, stupid pranks. Jackass is like the original TikTok challenge. I roll my eyes whenever I see their trailer. I know, man. I feel just the same way you do. Isn't it great that it exists? No, I know it is stupid, moronic. But then again, there's a part of me that's also stupid and moronic. No, look, dangerous pranks, stupid pranks. I mean, there's something about it. It's built into the DNA of human beings. I think we've been pulling these kinds of pranks on each other since we... As a matter of fact, one of us probably finally originally fell out of the trees, a million years ago, and when we were all proto-humans eating fruit out of the trees or finding safety from apex predators by being in the branches. Someone probably poked someone else in the ass and they fell out of the tree, and that was the first time someone was like, "Hey, the ground isn't so bad." And then, of course, a saber-toothed tiger probably showed up and ate that proto-human, but whatever. But I know it doesn't exactly bode well for the intelligence of man, but it's, sometimes juvenile behavior is okay. Jonathan goes on to say, "I never understood the appeal of Jackass. And I grew up with kids my age loving the series, and I'm like, this shit is stupid. Now, as an adult, I don't know why it's returned from the dead. I won't watch this new one, and I would even warn people not to go terrible." Well, Jonathan, on one hand, I'm with you. I mean, I believe that humanity we can reach for the stars. We can be better. We can be better than our corrupt, vile nature. But then again, sometimes a fart joke is just what you need. But I'm right there. I'm not right there. I mean, I'm right there with you. I understand. I know you want humanity to be better, but sometimes you just gotta wallow in the muck. It's just, roll around in that just muddy puddle of water. Just stomp in it, get it out. But you're right. On most days I would agree with you 100%. But I know what you're saying. I feel you. You and I park our shuttlecraft in the same shuttle bay. Derek Lodge sends in a tip and says, "Hey, John, it's my birthday today, and I'm turning 27. Congratulations. I feel the song 3090 from Tick, Tick, Boom more and more each day. Seriously, how good is that film, bro?" Tick, Tick, Boom, my favorite movie of 2021. It spoke to me. Not a fan of Rent, but I just can't get this movie out of my head. Anyways, have a great day. Derek Large, you and I park our shuttlecrafts in the same shuttle bay. I love that film. It spoke to me too, even though I was 30 a long time ago. I do feel great about that movie. It spoke to me as well. I've watched it so many times. I love it so much. Lin-Manuel Miranda, what a striking. I mean, obviously he created Hamilton and Encanto and all the stuff that he worked on. But my God, directing that film, what a fantastic. You know, I haven't seen the original. The original, I guess, what is it? The Rock monologue that it's based on, the Tick Tick Boom play. We see a lot of it in the movie. And by the way, how do you not fall in love with Vanessa Hudgens? I mean, I can't say that. I can say it now because she's like 30. But you know, watching High School Musical, I can never say it. But how beautiful and talented is she? My God, I know she's just a supporting role in the film, but wow. By the way, speaking of her, if you want to watch a really interesting, if you like Vanessa Hudgens and want to fall in love with her even further, look up the architectural digest video of her showing you her house. My God, that woman, she has great taste. What a delight she is. Yeah. Kenyon Struthers says, hey, John, Kim, Ray, and Rob, and Aaron. Second time tipping. Well, thank you, Kenyon. I'm happy to be the one to read it. So thank you for that. Rob, in your companion video, you mentioned the Ewok line. I found the clip from How I Met Your Mother, and it is hilarious. Question, guys, is it accurate? Well, I'll tell you, Kenyon, before I started recording this particular video, I watched it. It is hilarious. Is it accurate? I think an argument can be made, but what a great clip. I want to thank you for including it because I had not seen that clip before, and it is hilarious. So everybody should watch it, you know. And if you can't, I guess you can't. I mean, I can like go like, oh, I guess I can't, can I? No, I can't. There's no way for me to put it in the chat or do whatever. But here, I'll just say it. If you're watching this, it's https://youtu.be/xz capital ZY AN capital CQY capital HO. There you go. Go put that link in and watch it because it's funny. You're right, Kenyon. Revenge of the Jedi sends in a tip. Says, hey, John and crew. Been a fan since the AMC days. Question for you. In Spider-Man No Way Home, there is a scene where Peter places an Emperor Palpatine Lego on his desk. Is it fair to say that Sony did a better job using Palpatine than The Rise of Skywalker did? Well, Revenge of the Jedi, it's funny you say that. I think that there's some kind of an internet campaign for us to say, yes, he did, because that question shows up a lot. But you know what? Since you're the latest one to ask that question, I would say, by God, you are correct, sir. You are correct. They did a better job. Anything is better than The Rise of Skywalker. Anything did a better job than that movie. Jonathan sends in a tip and says, you know what female ensemble I want to see? An Avengers team like with Disney princesses using their powers together to fight the ultimate evil stepmom. We saw a bit of it in Wreck-It Ralph 2, but I want a full-fledged movie. Just saying. Jonathan, I'm there for that. I would totally watch that. A team-up of Disney princesses kicking Major Boutte. Yeah, I'm for it. I'm there. Count me in. Benny S. sends in a tip and says, yo, Ray, my weed-whacking home Yo, Ray, my weed-whacking home slice. Since John name-dropped you in the Manscaped ad, I need to know, what's the special event that made you hack your booger badges? Where can't you go with your nose hair hanging out like a train leaving Snot Street Station? I don't know the answer to that, Benny S. I'll have to ask John. Maybe I can call him. Let's call him. Oop. I'll call him right now. He just texted me. I'm going to call him right now. Let's call him. I'll ask him as I record this. I'll call him on the phone and see what his answer is so I can get you an answer. Since I am recording this, he might not pick up.
Hello?
John, it's me, Rob.
Hey.
I have a question, and I want to call you. I decided to call you. I'm almost done with this companion video, just so you know. But I don't know the answer to this, and since you just texted me, I figured I'd do it live while I'm recording. Benny S. Benny S. sends in a tip and says, "Yo, Ray, my weed-whacking home slice. Since John name-dropped you in the Manscaped ad, I need to know, what's the special event that made you hack your booger badges? Where can't you go with your nose hair hanging out like a train leaving Snot Street Station?" I have no idea what that means.
So Ray borrowed the Manscaped ear and nose hair trimmer because he and Ann were going to their next door neighbor's wedding. So the next door neighbor that Ann and Ray, when Ann still lived over at the family's, grew up there beside. They were getting married and they went to their wedding. So that's what he had to borrow it for.
Well, that was a good question. I had to ask. I'm almost done with this video, and I will process it and send it your way. But that one comes from Benny S.
Well, thank you, Benny.
Thanks for that. Now people are going to be like, "Rob, will you please call John with my..." Every time I do these, I'm going to have to call people from now on.
All right, man. Have a good night.
All right. I'll see you. Bye. So, there you go. Winter Naomi Vera sends in a tip and says, "Keaton's Batman uniform is a black shell with a solid symbol and a yellow belt with a cylindrical compartment. Batman in the mural has a gray and black uniform with a soft texture, curved symbol on the chest, and a belt with pouches. Young Batfleck or new Bat?" Oh no, I think it's the Keaton Batman. I think it is. I don't think it's a new one. I don't think it's a new guy. Why am I? I'm crying into. I watered into my eye. But it's got to be a new Bat. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna see. We're gonna find out. It was Agatha All Along sends in a tip and says, "Hey, John and crew, I know you're a big Star Wars fan. We are. And I was wondering if you ever watched the video on YouTube, John Williams is the Man. It's kind of an old video now, but I still get a kick out of whenever I watch it. Thanks for all you do. Bring on the filthy." I don't know. Look, you're watching my eye. I'm like, you know what? That video rings a bell, but I've watched so many John Williams videos on the web, I don't know which one in particular you are referring to. So I would check it out. All of you, go. It was Agatha All Along. Take Agatha's advice and go watch John Williams is the Man on YouTube. I know that's what I'm going to do. So why not? Jonathan goes on to say, "There's a movie coming out called Belle." Oh, dude. There's a movie coming out called Belle, an anime about an extraordinary girl who becomes a sensation in some virtual reality. I bought tickets the moment I read the synopsis. Watched the trailer. Holy shit, it's beautiful. Have you heard of this? Jonathan, yes. When I saw The Matrix Resurrections in IMAX, they played a trailer for Belle. It's from a Japanese director. It looks incredible. I can't wait. It's supposed to open... I want to say it opens this weekend. I mean, it opens like in 2 days or something. I can't wait to go see it. I'm going to go see that shit in IMAX. It looks amazing. And I heard a review of it on Film Week on NPR, and everybody said it was great. So definitely on my radar. I'm totally checking it out. Go, go, go. Victor sends in a tip and says, "John, Obi-Wan is listed as coming soon on Disney Plus. Feels like a trailer is not too far away, perhaps soon after BF ends. That would be Book of Boba Fett. First episode on May 4th. Oh, wow. I can't wait to see it. May 4th. What a great time to put that on. That's a great idea. I think that might be you know what? That's a good... I think that Victor, great minds think alike. I think that could be great. I can't wait to see it. I'm really, really excited to see that. I can't wait. Murray Reich sends in a tip and says, "I saw the 355 and it was just okay. Dialogue at times was bad. The main problem was the shaky cam during the action scenes. Like I couldn't see the fucking movie. Give me some warning next time to bring Tylenol." This is going to be a long January month. It is, man. It's only the 12th when I'm recording this. It's a long, long month. It's been a long time getting from here to there. Yeah, I don't know why am I I'm getting sniffly sitting out here in the Raw Observatory. I don't know why. Suddenly, I hope I don't have COVID or some other virulent plague strain like goes zombified. Yeah, it bums me out. I do not like shaky cam. I think it's a way for filmmakers to heighten the suspense, but and amp up the action. It's a trick. I think it's a cheap trick. And shaky cam is different than handheld. You can have great handheld movement, but it doesn't have to be shaky. It can be like handheld, but not handheld. You know what I mean? And I don't like shaky cam. I mean, we talked about on the show, if you guys haven't seen The Raid, or as I like to call it, The Rad, and its sequel, The Rad 2, even radder, that film has a lot of handheld action, but not shaky cam, because they're long takes. And you'll notice, watch this, when you watch something with shaky cam action, notice it has a lot of editing in it as well. And that's because it doesn't have the people aren't as good at fight choreography. They're not as good, so they use that to cover that up. It's a trick. I don't like it. So Murray Reich, that was Murray Reich who said that. Did I not say that at first? Murray, you are correct. I'm with you 100%. It's going to be a long month. Mark sends in a tip and says, "Hey, John, as a longtime fan of the John Campea Show, I want to know how come you read tips near the end of the show instead of focusing only on tips. All of my questions nowadays don't get answered live anymore, even when I send them 24 hours in or more before the show starts." Mark, you, my friend, have identified a problem with this process, and I'm going to bring this to Mr. Campea's attention. It's interesting. I'm going to talk to him about this. I think this is because I do this on my own show too. People tip or super chat either one when we're live. But I'm going to bring this up to John because you're not wrong, sir. And the whole point is sending in a super chat or a tip. First, it's great that everyone supports the channel. But what you want us to read it live on the air, especially if we say something funny and you make Ray laugh. Or Kimberly gets to read it because she's the most beautifully photogenic person on YouTube. Come on. I understand. I am right there with you. Yes. Yes, indeed. I'm going to talk to John about that. That's a good point, Mark. But on that said, I still want to thank you for promoting the channel. Actually, this is his second part. Especially, I only have time to send in these questions not during the live portion of the show, which is why I thank you for using tips. Otherwise, keep up the great work. Mark, like I said, talk to John about that. You, my friend, are not wrong. Wes Maurer. Hey, Team Campea. You know that emotion Anne had watching the intro to the Harry Potter Return to Hogwarts? That's how I felt for Rob's return. Oh, my God. That's why. See, I'm crying. I've got like salt in my eyes because you people are beautiful. The love I feel. Can you feel the love tonight? Yes, because Wes, you're bringing me that love. I want to thank you for that. Let's read this again. You know that emotion Anne had watching the intro to the Harry Potter Return to Hogwarts? That's how I felt for Rob's return. So happy. Kim and Ray are so great too. Loving the studio chemistry between everyone. I am loving the studio chemistry. I have to tell you, I don't think I've ever had so much fun being on the John Campea Show. I mean, I've been on it for 3.5 years. It's more fun now than it ever has been. John was absolutely right. The in-studio experience is better for me. It's better for you. It's better for them. I just quoted Kirk from Star Trek Voyage Home. Just saying. But, yeah, I agree. I'm glad you love it. Thank you for the kind words. And I have to tell you, I don't know what it was about that opening, that Harry Potter opening. If you guys haven't watched the Harry Potter reunion on HBO Max yet, I don't have any particular affinity for Harry Potter because I was a little older. I did read the first book and saw the movies, of course. But I have to tell you, watching that opening, I got choked up. Like, I literally teared up, too. There's something going on there. The way it was shot, I don't even know why. And now people are going to go, well, Rob, it wasn't that exciting. I didn't. But I did. I felt a little, I felt verklempt watching it. There is a way, it was the way it was shot. It was good. I liked it a lot. Anonymous sends in a tip and says, before we know it, X-Men 97, that's the new animated series, will be upon us. What characters are you excited to see continue story arcs, and what new character are you looking to see that you feel you missed out on? Well, I'm a huge X-Men fan. And all I can say is more Mr. Sinister. That's my answer to everything. Give me more Mr. Sinister. There cannot be enough Mr. Sinister. And I would like to see, I'd like to see Longshot. I'm a big Longshot fan. Give me some Longshot. I'd love to see Forge. Is he going to have a relationship with Storm? How is that going to work? Anytime I can get more Kitty Pryde is good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. I mean, is it going to be a direct continuation, like of the original '90s X-Men? I know that's kind of where they're going, but I'm curious to see where they are going to take it. I just want Mr. Sinister, even though that's like, can you imagine? Hi, my name is Mr. Sinister. Are you up to something no good? Why would you think that? Because your name is Mr. Sinister. Oh, I never thought of that. I know it's a dumb name, but I've always loved the character. Don't care. So yeah, I can't wait to see this show. Matthew Grant sends in a tip and says, been watching Cobra Kai, and never have I just kept watching something just to see if anyone will finally just get along, or everyone will finally just get... I know, Matthew, it's like, man, can't they just... Where's the love? Just hug it out. I love that. That's funny. That's good. Big A in Siberia sends in a tip and says, John, am I the only one who hears Mayor McCheese when they say Mayor McCheese? Shays? Nope. I thought that too. Mayor McCheese. Yeah, I don't... What, when I hear the word mock, I don't know if you guys ever remember, probably not because I'm old, Thundar the Barbarian and Ukla the Mock, who's kind of like the Chewbacca of that show. But Big A in Siberia, you're not wrong. That's some funny shit. That is some funny shit. John and crew, The Batman opens the same day as my wife and I's 5th anniversary. Filthy. We're celebrating in LA. We want to see Batman in the best theater. Which theater should I choose? Just to say I've been there and also get ticks on opening night. Well, I would say go to the Chinese theater. If it's opening, it probably is because it's a Warner Brothers movie. Go the Chinese theater on Hollywood Boulevard. It's world famous, but you got to make sure that it's in the big IMAX auditorium. Don't go to the 6 theaters. Go there. Or go to the Universal City Walk IMAX Theater. So those are the 2 places that I would go. Those are the best places to see it. That's my advice. By the way, that was from Mike Dameron, like Poe Dameron, but Mike Dameron. By the way, congratulations on your 5th anniversary, and I hope, being that you're a married couple, like you said, that it's your 5th anniversary, which is your filthy anniversary. I want you to keep it filthy, and on your wedding anniversary night, bring on the filthy. Try something filthy you haven't tried before. Mike Dameron goes on to say, oh, it's me again. Hey, Rob, if you remember, I wanted to comfort you by saying I'm not actually writing the Human Centipede movie where it becomes a zombie in space. Human Centipede Dead Vessel will have to live only in our hearts. Oh, boy. A zombie Human Centipede movie... It's funny because I'm torn, because I guess if you're a zombie Human Centipede, that means you're only eating someone's ass, which in some ways could be a good thing. But if you're a zombie, it means the person whose ass you're eating, you devour their innards just from the back end, and it would be all bad. So, I don't know. Now I'm kind of morbidly curious. What would a Human Centipede movie look like? For those of you who haven't seen the Human Centipede and are wondering, why am I bringing the filthy right now? Well, I don't know if I can recommend. There's 3 Human Centipede movies. And, it's literally about a doctor who sews some people's mouths to other people's asses and makes them into a human centipede. I'm not making this up, people. This is real. You can watch it. Don't yell at me. I hope I didn't just demonetize this video. Loki's Luscious Locks sends in a tip and says, "Hey, John and crew, I love the show. An idea hit me that I can't decide if it's genius or the dumbest thing I've ever thought of. Probably the latter. Could be both. What if you'd call your companion videos Campion videos? Campion videos. Thanks, and bring on the filthy." Okay, if Campion, how do you say? So it's companion. That's pretty funny. Campion videos. Thanks, and bring on the filthy. I like that, Loki's luscious locks. I'm going to pass that along to John. Senpaigar. After watching the 3 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, I have a feeling that we may see Fennec betray Boba. Every episode so far, we've seen her disagree and question his methods of doing things. I think she may feel that he is going soft. Well, Senpaigar, wow, this is the last question. I think you might be right. I don't know where this is going. It's been very up and down. I've been disappointed in episodes 1 and 3. I really liked episode 2. It feels sort of disjointed to me. I don't know where it's all going to go, but I'm there for it. I do want to see what's happening. We've got 4 more episodes left. I've got my fingers crossed. I hope it's great. It just seems to be, it's a little, I don't know about the flashback structure. I mean, I understand. I don't know. The jury's out for me right now. I mean, I'm enjoying watching it, but it's just all over the place. And I don't really know. I need to know, why does Boba Fett want to even take over the crime syndicates on Tatooine? Or what does he want? I don't know. I think we're going to find out. Who knows? I don't know. But we shall see. But will Fennec betray him? Very possibly. Very possibly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gentle souls, kind beings, however you identify across the 28 known galaxies. That's a Superman the movie reference. I want to say thank you for once again going on a rollicking, wacky companion video journey with me, your host, Robert Meyer Burnett, for the John Campea Show. I want to stress we cannot thank you enough for supporting the channel in this generous way via super chats and tips. It keeps the channel going. It keeps us bringing you such amazing entertainment as me right now doing these companion videos for you. It's so much fun. I love that John lets me do them. I would say John unleashes me, and it's a lot of fun. So thank you very much. My name is Robert Meyer Burnett. You can find me on social media on RM Burnett, on Instagram, or Robert Meyer Burnett. I don't even know, to be honest. I guess you can just find me there. You can find me on Twitter at BurnettRM, or find me on my own YouTube channel, The Burnett Work. But something tells me you're going to be able to find me a lot more on the John Campea Show and on John Campea's YouTube channel as well. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. And remember, every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. And all you have to do is listen. And with that, I would say, bring on the filthy.